Eyup, hope you're doing alright. Happy Sunday, or whatever day it is when you're watching this. I went on another walk on Friday, and as nice as it was, yet again, afterwards, my legs were aching so much. I've been limping a little bit, well, kind of limping, just kind of, you know, when your leg muscles are sore and that, just as you walk around the house. Because yeah, my hips are really sore and my thighs and that. And I checked my Google Map thingy to see how much I'd walked, and it was just over 3.5 miles, which, you know, I guess there's lots of people that walk more than that all the time, but when you've not really been outdoors since like December now, you definitely pay for it when you go on a walk that long. But yeah, it was nice anyway, just to get out for a little bit. Anyway, about this build, it's taken me absolutely ages to get this done. Well, not really, but I did set myself a goal of building and editing the video on Friday, and then I wanted to post on Saturday, which was yesterday, but that walk took quite a big chunk out of my day. Well, it was a 2-hour walk, but I spent half an hour at my mum's house in between. By the way, we're in a support bubble as she's a lone adult household, so no rules were broken or anything like that. But yeah, I'd say I was out of the house in total for about 3 hours. And then 3 hours of the day before that was homeschooling and getting ready to go out and all that stuff. So by the time I actually sat down to build, it was 7 o'clock maybe. I think even a little bit later because I wanted to spend a little bit of time with the kids and stuff like that. We had some food. I think we watched a Sims video as well. So yeah, I finished recording and editing last night just about. And obviously I'm recording the voiceover now. So yeah, as you might be able to tell from the build so far, it's quite a big house. I think this is the biggest house I've done on my channel. Yeah, it definitely will be. But I think the bigger the house, the longer it does take to build. Well, I guess it just depends, but this one did definitely take a long time. And then obviously it takes a bit longer to edit and render it and export it and upload it and all that kind of stuff that I'll do later. All super boring stuff, but I'll actually talk about the actual build now. So like I said, it's a pretty big house. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 are main bedrooms, and then there's a guest room. It has 4 bathrooms, a large kitchen, an office, an art studio, and a kids' playroom. It uses items from Get Together, Seasons, and kids' room stuff, and I built it in Windenburg. I actually asked on Instagram, like I usually do, where people wanted me to build the house, because I was actually torn between building it in Windenburg, Brindleton Bay, and Newcrest or Willow Creek, I think. I can't remember the third one, but I think this is the best spot for it, really, and I'm glad that was the most popular vote when I asked people on Instagram. I didn't manage to fit a garden on this lot, but I figured because of the location, the family that live here wouldn't really need one. There's lots of space to explore, or there's a local fishing spot nearby, and there's quite a lot to do in the house itself. I added a lot of skill building items as well, and just fun stuff for your Sims to do. There's that Don't Wake the Llama game from Get Together, the darts board, there's toys for the kids, different activities and stuff like that, in the artist studio, and there's computers and a library and all that kind of stuff. The family that I moved in actually have 2 adopted children, and one of them has just aged into a teenager, but the kids' bedroom is made really to fit 2 children. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with a teenager sharing a room there as well. It's just more kind of, I guess, childish in a way. Not really, but you know what I mean? It's more tailored to what a child would like rather than maybe an older kid, a teenager. But the kid's bedroom, in my game, I think the teenager would probably want to move into the guest room for a bit of privacy and maybe somewhere she can hang out with her own friends. But of course, you can do whatever you like if you want to download this build. So how is everyone doing then? How has your week been? Nothing too exciting's happened for me. Unsurprisingly, nothing that exciting happens that much now, does it? But I mean, it's been alright. The last week of homeschooling, hopefully I'll never do that again. I said in my last video that I think I'll miss having the kids at home and, you know, just being with them more, because obviously when they go back to school I'll have less time with them, but also I'm really looking forward to not doing the work with them anymore and getting back to more like structured day and routine, because at the end of the day I'm not a teacher. So yeah, it's been a big struggle, like it has for everybody. Also, I know I said earlier, but I do want to set a goal of, did I say it earlier? Anyway, I want to set a goal of uploading 2 videos a week and trying to be more consistent. And that is, right now there isn't really like a schedule for my videos. I just kind of make them, post them, wait a day or 2, and then I'll start making another one. So sometimes there's like a week in between or like a few days in between. But yeah, I want to have more of a schedule that fits in with like my life and my day-to-day kind of lifestyle and everything like that. And with everything kind of going back to a little bit of normality next week, I'll have more time to do that. I've also thought about maybe doing a Let's Play. I'm not too sure exactly what type of Let's Play, or I want to do like a challenge type thing, maybe like Rags to Riches or something like that. So let me know what you think to that. I think for my first one, I want to do quite a chilled one, so not 100 baby challenge. If I ever do that, I don't know, but it seems extremely stressful. Oh, I'm also recording this voiceover using my new microphone, so let me know what you think to the sound quality. The one I used before was just like a basic USB, but it wasn't the best. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but yeah, it wasn't like the best sound. I mean, it wasn't bad for what it was. I'd recommend it, say if you were like starting out with videos, but I had to do like quite a lot of post-processing on the audio, which is sometimes like in my other videos, like the sound would be good sometimes and then a little bit worse at other times. So hopefully it'll be more consistent now. I've tested it out and stuff and it sounds okay to me. I'll probably still have to do a little bit of like noise reduction and stuff like that, just because the room that I record in, it's not really meant to record audio or anything like that. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you think the sound is okay. It's one of my most my most important thing to kind of get right, because I think it just makes the video more enjoyable to listen to really, and it just ups the quality overall. And I am a little bit of a perfectionist, so I do want to kind of get it right from the off, so that I don't know, like I just think that sound quality is important for me anyway. So for the landscaping, I did just quite basic. Obviously there's not that much room, so I didn't want to go like too overboard, but I also didn't want it to be like empty. So I just went in with mainly using like base game plants, but then I also used is it like ivy? I think it's ivy, the like ivy that you can put on the wall and stuff like that. Just because I think it just adds that little bit more to the build overall. And I also used some trees that I think are not even in the game, they're in like the debug menu, because they were in like the environment and stuff, so I just added those. And then just a few window boxes with flowers and stuff, just add a little bit more to the build. Yeah, I just didn't want to add too much and make it too kind of, I don't know, like I normally am quite particular with what I want in landscaping. Like I want to do as much as I can and make it look nice from the outside. But for this one, I just thought, keep it basic, nothing too over the top. So for the interior, I didn't really have like a particular style in mind. I tried to kind of go with traditional, but it wasn't like a proper strict style choice or anything like that. The family that I had in mind whilst building, I knew I wanted quite successful Sims that were already like well established in their careers, earning quite a bit of money. I mean, you'd have to be to afford a house this big, and I figured that they'd want to have space to like raise the children and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're quite high up in the careers. One of them is top of the painter career, and the other is like level 8 in the writer career as a journalist. And yeah, the children are quite different, but still they all have like really good relationships with each other. Like always, I built the bathrooms off camera, and I also furnished the hallways off camera too, just because they're not that interesting to look at being built. They're not really anything special, just a way to like connect the rooms and that. The floor plan for this house did throw me off a little bit as well, because I found it like, I don't know, I just find it difficult to furnish really big houses and really big rooms, especially like this bedroom, for example. You kind of do just have to add things in I guess to just fill it up. Like, I wouldn't necessarily have a couch in my own bedroom, but it's like I don't want to keep adding loads of different drawers and wardrobes and stuff like that. So yeah, the bigger the rooms, I do kind of struggle to furnish and like fill them up. The upstairs only has 2 bedrooms, but I knew that I wanted a playroom for the kids rather than like loads of bedrooms and that. And they have their own ensuite too. All the bedrooms do, in fact. I was also tempted to do a gym in the basement because one of the parents, I think they like to keep fit and stuff like that. But I decided against it because I'd already furnished like 17 rooms at that point of having that idea. And yeah, the little bit of landscaping I did outside, the building. By that point, I think I was just out of ideas for layout and furnishing and stuff like that. So it would have literally just been a box basement with like a few different gym equipment in. And I just thought, no, we'll leave it with what we've got. There's plenty for the Sims to do without adding a basement as well. I've talked about it before as well, but you may not have seen in my other videos, or you might not have heard me talk about it. But I'm planning on doing an Animal Crossing video where I tour my island just to celebrate the anniversary of New Horizons. I've been playing it as much as I can lately to prepare my island for the tour because if you didn't know, I stopped playing in August, I think it was, or like September, and I just stopped playing completely. But because I wanted to do this tour, I wanted to like catch up, but also I didn't want to miss out on all the other stuff that I've missed through those months that I didn't play. So yeah, I've just been trying to get my island ready, get the house looking somewhat kind of nice, I guess. So yeah, I've just got to November. So I want to try and get to current days as soon as possible and record the tour. I've got my capture card, I've got new mic now, I've got the time. I just keep putting off playing and I'm not really sure why I do it because I do love the game, but I think it's because I know I've got to do it to get to where I want to be. Like I want to be at a level where it's just done. And I know that I could just skip forward now, but I don't want to miss like the events or miss out on catching all like the fish, the bugs, sea creatures and all like the seasonal recipes and all that. So I think after recording I'm going to try and get through the month of November, collect as many of the mushrooms as well that I can for the lamps because I want a few of those. By the way, if you don't play Animal Crossing or you've not played this one, you might have like no clue what I'm even talking about. But I know there's like quite a lot of crossover between the Sims players and Animal Crossing players, so you might know what I'm talking about. But if not, well, you can always wait and see my tour if that interests you. I don't want to hype it up too much, but I have put quite a lot of work into it over the past few weeks, adding finishing touches and all that kind of stuff, and there will be a house tour. And yeah, if you like my Sims builds, maybe you'll enjoy that. So yeah, I want to try and get through November as quick as possible, and then hopefully on Tuesday I can make another Sims build. No, Monday I want to make another Sims build and post it on Tuesday, and then get through December as quick as possible, and then hopefully by the end of the week I'll be in current day. Anyway, back to this build. For the playroom, I just wanted to make a fun room just for the kids to hang out. Obviously in my game the family has 1 child and 1 teenager who's just recently aged up, but for me I thought the child would like invite her friends over, and I also want to make my builds to keep other people's playstyles in mind and what families they've moved in. I also do this like decal wall, I guess it's called. Not really sure, but in my game, the child sim I have is really into collecting the void critters, so I thought her parents would have the playroom decorated with the void critter stickers, or maybe like her dad, who's a painter, would paint them on. I mean, when I was little, my dad painted my bedroom to look like Teletubby Land. Like, it had like the grass hills, the sky, there was like a sun. It didn't have a baby face, but he painted like a sun, and he painted the Teletubbies like kind of all stood together with Nunu, which, thinking about it now, it's a little bit creepy, isn't it? Like having your full bedroom look exactly like that. But I think I really enjoyed it when I was little. I mean, that show is kind of weird when you think about it, but I guess it's fairly common to like decorate your kid's bedroom with a theme. Maybe not to that extreme, but I think I enjoyed it as a kid. I wish I had photos to show because my dad actually painted it himself and it did really look good. I guess I'll try and find some similar photos to show what it looked like. I don't know if anybody else ever had their bedroom decorated like that, but you never know. I have seen other bedrooms where it was painted like Little Mermaid and it was like underwater and stuff like that. So you never know. I guess lots of kids had a similar kind of bedroom where it was like painted or whatever. I mean, I personally wouldn't go to that extreme for my own kids. I mean, the most effort I've gone to was painting like mountains, pretty much identical to that wallpaper that's in The Sims actually. But I only did like 2 walls because it took me like 2 days just to do that. So yeah, I did a guest room as well, just because I thought in a house this big you would probably have a guest room, wouldn't you? Maybe for like the Sims parents to visit, or friends, or grandparents, or, you know, whatever kind of Sims you'd want to have over and stay over. In my game, the parents are close friends with another couple I have that live in Newcrest. I've included them in screenshots before actually. They were in the base game starter home that I went on to renovate. I also included them on Instagram. I did like a few pictures of them hanging out together because they're like one of my favourite families that I've ever made, really. I really like their dynamic, and each sim in that family is like really fun to play with. And speaking of my Instagram, I've thought about participating in some build challenges. I've found like quite a lot of creators over the past couple of weeks, and I find them all the time really. Like, I'll see people post their entries for build challenges, and I always think, oh, I'd like to do that, but I just don't really have the time. So I think now that I have time, I might start and take part, and depending what the challenges are, I'll probably like make videos out of them where it's just me building something, I guess. I've never done anything like that before. I think this is the first time that I've actually like interacted with the Sims community in the way that I have, and yeah, it's been really nice. I guess this is like the first game in the franchise that's been this connected in terms of community. I know people made Sims 3 content like back in the day, but I don't think it was to this degree, like in the way that social media has grown over the past like 6 years of The Sims 4 being out. Yeah, it's just nice to have people from all different backgrounds like come together over a shared interest. I know some people heavily criticise social media and like the impact it can have on people, but I think it is kind of all about who you kind of choose to follow and what you choose to see. Obviously there's like circumstances where you're not necessarily in control of what you're being shown and stuff like that, but I think for me, if it wasn't for social media, I probably wouldn't have much social contact with anybody else apart from like my immediate family. And as much as I love my family, our interests are really varied, and I don't have tons of interests and hobbies that I have in common with my family. So it is nice to just kind of branch off and kind of interact with other people that have a shared interest. And I don't really think that my family want to hear me constantly talk about like what games I like, because my ADHD and autistic brain will talk about it forever if they let me. Oh, and speaking of that, it's Mother's Day in the UK next Sunday, and overnight I have decided that I really want to take up punch needling. It's not a hyperfixation hobby, like, even though I've never done it before, and it's come from nowhere, this is something that I want to do. I don't know, I do this a lot where, like, I get a lot of people with ADHD do this, but you'll get like a new hobby or interest. It'll take over your life for like a few months. You'll like be totally obsessed with it. It's the only thing that you want to do. It's like the best thing ever. And then you start to lose a bit of interest. You do it less and less over like however long. And then one day you just completely stop and you never do it ever again. Well, yeah, that's something that I've always done. I did it with like taekwondo as a kid. I did it with Pokemon cards. I did it with like emo culture. I was obsessed with that for like a month or two. And then I went back to like my usual interests and music and clothing habits and stuff like that. Not that I changed too much with that, because it involved buying clothes and putting eyeliner on, and I had no money at the time, obviously being a kid, and was crap at makeup, so I did kind of like the soft version. But yeah, I've done it with like guitar over the years, where I've just been on and off interested in that. I got really into colouring books at one point, art in general. I used to collect like pens and pencil cases and get really into all that. Yeah, the list goes on, and the punch needling thing is probably going to be another one. But if I want to get myself a kit for Mother's Day and make one thing that looks terrible and then never do it ever again, yeah, I think I will. My neighbour is currently cutting their grass, so recording this has been a little bit tricky. Every now and again I'll hear it and I'll stop for a few seconds and then I have to like carry on. So yeah, I'm not sure how much the mic picks up of that. But they'll like mow the garden for like 2 hours, then get jet washer out to clean patio, then edge trimmer. And yeah, I don't want to wait all day to record when it's took this long to make the video as it is. So I'm going to wrap up the video here and leave you with a little bit of music and screenshots at the end. And if you'd like to download this build, my gallery ID is SimTouch. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you later. Bye!